Biomimicry is an approach to innovation that seeks sustainable solutions to human challenges by emulating nature's time-tested pattern and strategies. Also called a black-bristle honeycomb worm, the sandcastle worm lives in colonies of self-made tubes. These tubes are made by gluing sand particles together. The sandcastle worm creates the glue in a slightly acidic environment. Once secreted into an alkaline seawater, it becomes a very strong adhesive. The sandcastle worm assembles a tube using the fine sand on the sea bottom. Those tubes are bound together in colonies. In orthopedics, there are several strategies and devices for repairing simple or middle complex bone fractures. But what about highly complex fractures? You know, the ones we often describe as shattered. Their small fragments are too small, numerous, and complex to bind with hardware. We are often limited to replace surgeries. But what if we could borrow the same strategy that the sandcastle worm used to bind the small particles of sand, to collect and bind small particles of bone? The problem is when we have complex fractures. It is pretty hard to have a surgery because of the little fragments that are all over the place. And to take it together is nearly impossible. So we go for replacement surgeries. Information. After you break a bone, the next step is usually putting on a cast. A special bandage that will keep the bone in place for the next 1 to 2 months will take to bend. Casts are made of soaked bandages in plaster which hardens to a tough shell. That's why they take so long. After you take off the cast, the skin might be pale, dry, smell weird, and flaky, and your muscle will be smaller than it used to be. In other words, casts are certainly not a great idea. Last year, an American orthopedic surgeon told of a plastic glue that foams and hardens after being poured into a hollow channel of broken or diseased bones and seemed to have no toxic effects. The medical world evaluated the progress of the plastic glue was 94% successful in the treatment of 250 cases, and it heals way faster than a cast. Its benefits are huge because you need no cast and the effects of using a cast for such a long time are gone. Our hypothesis is that if we apply biomimicry in health assembling black bristle honeycomb worm, who lives in self-made tubes created by a special glue these worms produce, we can repair simple or middle complex bone fractures by gluing the pieces together by a strong glue, just like the worms, and replacing complex surgeries or long-time rest. It will work just as a glue, which only certain doctors will have access to. Biomimicry began long before the concept of modern technology arose in ancient Greek mythology. There are non-organism-specific phenomena in nature that have something to teach us about design. Results and conclusions. We believe this is a project which will help future generations recover from traumas in a more useful and simple way. This glue will make bones connect easily and maybe even cause the recovery to be less painful and more quick. This is an idea that will make health care advance in so many aspects, since it's an innovative idea for medicine.